Hi, I'm going to show you a full set of hand exercises that will hopefully help you to kind of feel your hand and its strength a little bit better. It's best if you probably watch yourself doing it, making sure that your hand is always in the right position. Because if it's not in the right position, you're not helping your cause. So things to think about is that when you're making a fist, you want to make sure that the fist is right. This is the right fist, okay? So you notice where my thumb lands. They land kind of on the second and the third finger. And there's not a big drop off like a cliff. It doesn't kind of do that, okay? That's like a little step drop off. And it's evenly distributed through the tension. So I'm pressing equally into all of these digits. I'm not pushing more on these ones, and I'm pushing less on these, or vice versa. But most people, they tend to lose the grip on the outsides of the fourth and fifth finger. So it's a grip. So everything's kind of pressing into the hand. So it's back into the hand where the thumb lands. And it has to kind of be so that there's no drop off. Notice also where my wrist is. It's not flexed forward and it's not extended back. Just kind of almost straight, tiny little bit of extension, but that's almost imperceptible to people who don't stare at wrists all day. So it's mostly just straight, okay? Not flexed. We're not even a little bit flexed. It's in neutral more than anything. So that's the starting position. That's very important. And then you can go through some of these cycles of movements. So we're going to go in and out of the fist. So we've thumb out, fist, spread the fingers. Come back in. Squeeze, make sure it's even, back out, spread the fingers. So you can go back and forth, in and out. You can also spread the fingers and then tuck the thumb. Make sure it lands where it should be if it were out here. Okay, it doesn't go across. It goes where it would land if it were out. And notice my fingers still stay curled like they did when it was outside. That's tricky, and you have to think about that. So if you don't find that comfortable, don't do it. But you should still be able to find everything normal there if the thumb is inside. So then you can go back and forth with the thumb in. Okay? You can also go in and out with the thumb and get jazzy. So out with the thumb. See how wide I go there? My wrist is still very much in neutral. I can go in, give a little squeeze. I can go out. Now I go on top. And then I get a squeeze. So I can see myself because I'm recording myself so I can watch it. But you might have to do this and watch it because you'll do it wrong. It's easy to do it wrong. It's hard to do it right. So make sure you do it right and only practice at doing right. The other ones you can kind of do is kind of just make, if you were having like a small ball in your hand, see how my fingers are curled there? I don't want straight fingers. You'd have like a little ball curl. You can do a ball, but I would start with no ball because I want to watch the fingers. So they're going to connect like a circle and kind of go like a circle like this. The hardest ones here are, again, the fourth and fifth fingers. It's real easy to keep that finger straight or keep this finger straight. And I don't want it straight. I want it bent. Now I'm gonna get a cramp here. So you have to have it bent, okay? And bent. I gotta watch myself a little bit and focus what I'm doing while I'm talking. So it looks like that. So my wrist is still in neutral, but I'm tapping and I'm keeping it round. See that? You can go back out and unload it and go back in and straighten it and go back in and straighten it and go back in. That's a good way of doing it too. Do what works for you so you do it right. None of this. None of this, okay? And then you can kind of make it a little bit more fancy, taking away that individual thing and having the thumb kind of just next to it. Make sure it's open. You can just go back and forth. That might be tricky. Maybe it is, maybe it doesn't. Depends on who you are. My wrist is still neutral and go back and forth. And then I curl my fingers down. So I'll do this angle. So my wrist stays up and I curl. So it's almost like a waiter standing and they're bowing. This is their waist. It has to be over this line, okay? And you can't curl the fingers right here. It's bowing with a straight back, okay? That's how I would liken that. So you might do that 4 or 5 times. But notice my thumb doesn't move. Your thumb might start to kind of tuck in. Don't let it tuck in. It has to be out and in. And then you can do it where like you can bend. So like if it were that waiter again, he's kind of curling his back. He's not keeping his back straight anymore, right? So this is his waist again, and he's going up and down. But notice my thumb, not moving. Don't let it curl in. That's where it gets a little bit harder. So you can do components of those. And there's one kind of like full pattern that's tricky. So I'm going to give it to you. And if you want to do it, go ahead. Okay, so you start with the thumb inside. You bring it outside. You straighten the thumb and straighten the fingers up. Now, you're going to just take your first finger. My fingers are still straight. And this is where I go straight, but then I change it and I go to the circle. And then I go back to the start. So we'll do that one more time. So it starts from in, and then it goes out. And then it goes wide. My fingers stand up tall. I keep my fingers tall, but I pinch here, but I round it. I can control that. And then I go under. So there's a spectrum there. Start at the beginning and work your way up. It's easiest to do all of these with the elbow bent. Eventually, you start doing it where you make it where the elbow is kind of straight, right? So you can kind of do different things like that. But that's progression. So that's where I would start with those. And good luck.